Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about how to pick a college major. I really want to start doing some more advice videos here on my channel, thrown in with the average, beauty videos. So leave below some topics you guys would like to hear me talk about, and I'll be sure to get those videos filmed for you guys. But I really want to sit here and film this video today because I know when I was back in high school, the biggest thing on my mind was what major I wanted to pursue in the future. It's something that, you're going to come across and you're going to have to pick something. And you really don't want to pick something that you don't like or something random. You really want to, do some research and figure out what's going to suit you best. And so that's why I'm here today. I'm going to kind of share with you guys some advice, some tips to kind of navigating towards something that you think you will like. And for some people it comes naturally, and then for some people it's, it's something that you have to spend time figuring out. To be honest with you guys, some people really don't know until a lot later on in life, and that's totally okay. But if we can kind of help you guys find something that you're really gonna like early on, that's even better. And you can really just get down to the classes that you're gonna need for your major. So I'm gonna start off with a little background story about when I found my major and why I did. So hopefully this won't be too long, but I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little background. So I was in my junior year of college, I remember, and I had taken a college intro to business class. It was for college credit, and it was my first business class I think I took, and I just remember just being exposed to like the business side of things, and I just instantly fell in love. This class was really cool in the sense that it really kind of went over a bunch of different fields you could go into. So we spent a lot of time talking about marketing, we spent time talking about accounting, we spent time talking about like economics, just like basically all the different branches of business. Believe it or not, I didn't even find accounting. I actually didn't even know I wanted to be an accountant at that point, but I did know I wanted to be in the business field. And it really wasn't until my senior year of high school when I, again, took a couple more business classes because I knew it was something I was interested in. And I had spoken to two of my business teachers and really asked them, what they thought would be a good field to take based on my characteristics and things that I enjoyed. And one of my teachers was actually previously a CPA, which is a certified public accountant. And I remember she was telling me she was an auditor. She basically explained a little bit about what they did, what it entailed. And obviously there's some math involved in that. There's a lot of like communicating with people. It's a lot more like working with yourself though, which I enjoy, like working on your own, working at a desk. A lot of problem solving type of stuff. And it was something that I was really interested in. Unfortunately, my school didn't offer an accounting class, but I kind of just took a leap of faith and decided to choose that as my major for college. And I did take accounting classes. They are hard, they are not for everyone, but I really enjoy it, guys. And so yes, that is what I'm pursuing. And if it weren't for me taking that business class junior year, I might not be doing this right now. So now I'm gonna kind of jump into like a couple of tips that I had that will hopefully guide you in the right direction. So tip number one, rule out the things that you do not like. And there are a couple of ways of doing this. So obviously the first way is that we just kind of know certain things that we don't like. So I know for me personally, I hated science throughout like my entire life. I just never found biology, chemistry, like any of that stuff very interesting. And I knew that was something that I just didn't even want to like look into. Okay, and then another way to go about figuring out things that you don't like, I highly suggest while you're in high school and when you get to pick electives that you can take, pick classes that you might not necessarily think you'd enjoy, or things that maybe you don't really know a lot about. That way you can either rule them out or see if it's something that you potentially like. And that's exactly what I did, guys. Like, I took this business class, I really had no idea what to expect. I didn't really know if I was gonna be any good at it, and I ended up loving it so much, and that is how I found my major. So pick classes that maybe you don't know a lot about or you don't think you'd necessarily like. Like for me, actually, I remember my freshman year of high school, I took a theater class because I thought I wanted to do like on stage type of stuff, and it just was not for me. I didn't like it, so I ruled that off my checklist. I was like, I will not be doing that anytime soon. You get the gist though. Like, take classes that you don't necessarily think you'd be good at and see if you like it, or take classes that maybe you think you want to pursue, and maybe you'll find out that way if it's for you or if it's not. Okay, my next piece of advice for you guys is to ask your parents, ask your friends, parents about what they do for a living, and see if it's something that you might be interested in. Ask them to kind of do a rundown of like what they do throughout their day and what kind of characteristics you think makes a good person for that field. Now, obviously this is a big thing to kind of keep in mind. I don't think it's like the #1 priority, but for a lot of people I know it is, so I'm not going to kind of like skip over it. I am going to talk about it. Definitely do research. Go onto some websites that kind of display the average salary that you're gonna be making if you choose a certain field. I remember I would just sit and like look at different jobs that I didn't even know existed and kind of look at salaries to see if I could make a living off of it, basically. And obviously in the business field, there is a lot of opportunity to make some pretty decent money, and accounting is definitely one of those ones that is pretty up there. But that being said, it is hard work. It's definitely not something that everyone can do. If you're someone who really just has absolutely no idea at all, another thing that I recommend is going and speaking to maybe like your guidance counselor or one of your favorite teachers. And a lot of times I feel like that can be very helpful, because I feel like teachers especially, or your guidance counselors who can see your grades, depending on if you have a good relationship with them or not, you know what I'm saying? But just kind of sit down with someone that you feel like you trust, or maybe even a friend, and ask them what you think you'd be good at. Because sometimes you overlook things and you think, oh, I'm not really that good at that, but you are. So I highly recommend like talking to a teacher, a friend, an advisor, and seeing what they suggest. Not necessarily doing it, but just kind of listening to what they have to say, and maybe gather a couple of opinions and then kind of see if that's something you might be interested in. Another important thing to like keep in mind is that certain jobs are hiring more than others depending on like when you're going to graduate and stuff. So I do like to look up those statistics as well to kind of see if there is going to be job placement, to see if there is going to be a spot for me potentially when I graduate school. Like for instance, I know when I was in school, teaching was one of those jobs that was very looked down upon because there really was no jobs for teaching. So that was something that I definitely ruled out just because of that. Now I'm not saying to necessarily, but I mean, it is important to make sure that you are going to get a job. So I mean, these are all things that you kind of have to factor in, but yet you still want to find something that you enjoy, you know what I'm saying? Okay, and then lastly, I just want to touch upon one more thing. So maybe at this point you kind of like know where you want to be, the field you want to go down. If for instance you want to be an engineer, and you kind of can just go on Google, maybe some nearby engineers, I don't really know what I would type in, I guess that, and try and get a phone number or an email and reach out to them and say, you know, I'm someone in high school, I'm about to be graduating, and this is a field that I'm definitely very interested in, and I'm interested in getting to know a little bit more about it and your thoughts on it and how you like it. Kind of get a perspective of someone who's already immersed in that field and see how they like it and what to expect. You can get a lot of good insight from that. And maybe they'll even let you kind of work with them for a day or something like that if you kind of build a relationship with that person. And also it's always good to have relationships with people that you know you could potentially get jobs from, stuff like that. So I highly recommend doing that, reaching out to some people in your community and whatnot, or maybe you have a friend who knows a friend, something like that. I hope this video was helpful for you guys, and let me know down below if you guys are going into college, maybe some of your majors, or if you're done and you're already working. Let me know what you guys do. I'm always interested to hear on like what other people's jobs are. I think the fact that there's just so many jobs out there is incredible. Like you literally can do almost anything these days. It's insane. So I hope again this video was helpful, and if you guys want to see more advice videos, let me know down below. Leave me your suggestions. As always, give this video a big thumbs up, and please subscribe if you guys enjoy watching me. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!